folks, this is the Boonedox Battle Wagon, a 2024 Toyota Tundra with all the Boonedox accessories needed to handle your fishing and camping gear, storage and transport needs, as well as a place for you to sleep in comfort while you're on your fishing adventures. So today is going to be the first in a series of videos that shows the progression of adding different accessories to this truck. Today we're going to cover some new Boonedox product like the gearboxes, as well as some standards, some old favorites like the T-bone. Let's dive in and look at the gearboxes first, and then we'll get into looking at the rooftop tent next. So the gearboxes are an all-metal container that really serves several purposes. One is it carries a lot of my fishing gear here. Let's take a look at what's inside, but I'll tell you the second thing is it's holding up my rooftop tent. These sorts of things, and I'm gonna pull things out as I go, are things that normally would either be in the truck bed where they're kind of loose and anyone can reach in and steal them, so that's a security issue, or they're going to be in the cab where, you know, things like the leverage landing net being wet and stinky with a bunch of loose items there. Up in the cab isn't really a great smelling thing. Nothing could be stinkier than a wet PFD up in the front of the cab. No one really enjoys that. I keep my Torpedo battery in its carrying case in there. I got my paddle broken down, fits in there nicely. And this isn't totally jam-packed. I could get a lot more in here if I needed to. And I have, you know, a whole other one on the other side for other stuff like your camping gear. Got a bump board in there, a catch board, Torpedo throttle, and my Lakewood money bags with all my soft plastics in there. So you can see there's quite a bit that fits in there in addition to my Torpedo electric outboard. Let's take a closer look inside. I'll show you some of the features and we'll talk a little bit about how this is mounted. So each set of gearboxes comes with a set of keys, two gas struts for each side. You actually have 1, 2, 3 tracks on the inside, one shelf per side. Nice and secure. So let's take a look at how we've mounted it here. We're going to address this groovy extrusion and this in a moment. Just understand that this kayak rack is something that's modular and can be added on later. We just chose to use the bottom of the gearbox to attach it to. But the gearbox itself is attached with this bracket here that just kind of tucks up underneath that lip of the truck bed there. We've drilled holes through the bottom. There's hardware on the inside, and it just clamps up to the underside. There is 4 of these, 2 on each side, that secures it to the truck bed rails. I've hopped up top on the tailgate here to show you. We have the groovy extrusion, which those of you with a T-bone or landing gear know this extrusion, this shape from those Boonedox products. And we have these brackets here that will secure it to the top of each of the gearbox. This groovy extrusion goes along the length and just connects it. You're gonna have to cut this to the right width of your truck bed to make sure that it fits. So please understand that I'm not really showing these Boonedox products in isolation, but I'm showing them in conjunction and co-rigging with each other. They're really designed to be modular, to work together in a variety of applications, whether you want to put all this gear on your pickup truck bed or a trailer or just an SUV roof rack. So I'm really eager to talk about this James Baroud Grand Raid rooftop tent. But before we get to that, I'll tell you, I've already slept in it 4 nights so far in Kentucky and Virginia on some kayak fishing adventures. Before we get into that, let's talk about kayak transport. We already have the T-bone here, which I can put my Hobie Pro Angler right in here, and that's the heavier of the two that I carry, and it actually fits underneath this groovy extrusion here with these two groovy extrusions that are longer, and you have these wheels here that allow you to roll, and in my case it's an inflatable that'll ride right up there. So you'll get a set of these and you can install them in the track that's at the end of the groovy extrusion. Really makes loading a lot easier at the ends of these bars. The bars, the groovy extrusions, you can get in 3 different lengths depending on really what you need. In this setup, I have the shortest one used as the crossbar. This assembly here is the groovy crosslink, and you know, you'll buy these individually. In this case, I used 4 of them because in the Lincoln log style assembly, where you have a cross piece and then one going at a 90-degree angle on the top of it, you want a really solid connection. So this groovy crosslink allows you to do that in a really solid way. And I've adjusted these 2 groovy extrusions to be the right width, which with my inflatable is 21 inches. With your boat, it may be a different length, and maybe you don't even need it as long as I've done with my nearly 15-foot long inflatable kayak. So fully adjustable for how you want to come up with your own way to transport your kayak, whether it's on a trailer or, in this case, I have this raised area so I can put the Pro Angler low and the inflatable up high. So if any time during the video you decide that you want to start making a shopping list that has all the different components, and you've got an idea in your mind where you want to start building your own rack and putting your own different accessories on there, look in the video description. It's going to have a listing of all those product names and their part numbers, so you can start building a shopping list. So the next part that I want to show you is the groovy flat link, and it's how we got this James Baroud Grand Raid rooftop tent on there. The tent itself comes with a track, and this gusset is it's actually just part of the groovy landing gear. So we've just made that in a kit that is the groovy flat link, which it links it, as opposed to the cross link where you're linking two groovy extrusion bars at right angles. This is linking the groovy extrusion bar to something that is flat. All right, the part that I've been excited to show you, this is the James Baroud Grand Raid rooftop tent. So you can see I just unclipped that. You have these little pins that you pinch, and then you stick your finger on the top. That undoes the hinge, which secures it. We're going to loosen that one. We're going to come over to this other side, so I'm going to have to switch hands to come at it the right angle. It's on there secure. And we'll come off of this. And it's already starting to pop up. You know, this thing is ready to go. Now I need to do the same thing at the front. All right, as soon as I undo this one, the whole thing should go ahead and release upwards. And I'm going to reach in there. There is a ladder that's in here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull down to make it easy on getting up and down. The ladder has its own little case that we're gonna unzip and go ahead, take that case off and lay that on the tailgate here. And this just extends upwards. You're gonna look at these little hooks here. They're gonna correspond with some hooks that are right up on the base of the tent. So it extends upwards and we just kind of slide in from the side and we're ready to go ahead and step up here. So everyone that has seen this and seen me with this setup has asked the same thing. Do you actually fit in that, Jeff? Because I'm about 6'3" and a half, 6'4". I really do fit in it. This is the size M. There are larger Grand Raids, and I think it's more for just multiple people, but if I lay out in it, my head and my toes touch. So I don't know about most people, but I don't sleep fully just like straight as possible. I do have bent knees, and it hasn't been uncomfortable to me at over 6'3" tall. Once you get up in here, you have these little, I'm gonna call them elbows, but you're gonna push that out, and as soon as I do it, there's one on the other side that's gonna snap into place. Listen for it. That one actually went first. I'm gonna do the same thing here, and once we do this, it's fully upright. There is a fan here, little cargo net here, and most importantly, it is a hot day here in Maryland. I'm gonna let some breeze come through here, and we're gonna take a look at how I've set it up in terms of my bedding and you know, some of the other things that I will tell you that if you're new to rooftop tenting, you may want to consider if you're doing this for the first time. So you're going to have these screens all the way around to give you a nice airflow. The fan here certainly helps with that, and like I mentioned, the cargo net, you can put things in. I didn't mention that it's got a little flashlight there, has a USB thing, and just these things with little pockets in it for cell phone and whatever else you need. I did go out and purchase a full-size sheet, a fitted sheet, and then the top sheet I haven't quite figured out. It doesn't fit exactly, but this is the closest size to this kind of strangely shaped, you know, because of these elbows, kind of a strange shape. But the full-size sheet is what I got. The other things I'm going to tell you to make sure you have up here: something to pee in. You can just go to the store, go to the drugstore, get yourself the kind of urinal they use in the hospital. Just get one of those. I have a friend that says, I just use an Nalgene bottle. That's problematic to me. I won't even explain it, but you know, get a urinal, because middle of the night, you're probably not going to want to climb down there and go somewhere. Take care of your business up here. What else can I tell you about it? I've done 4 nights so far, and I love it. I like sleeping in the drifter. The drifter hammock is great in a pinch, but also I've done it in cold temperatures, and you know, with the underquilt. I'm still going to use the drifter. The drifter is going to be what I use to camp when I go a little bit more remote, where I bring it, excuse you, quiet on the set, excuse me. The drifter I'm still going to use when I camp on islands, and you know, it's also what I'm going to use if I'm at an Airbnb with a bunch of friends and someone needs an extra bed and they say, I forgot my air mattress, man, the drifter's perfect for that. But this is way more comfortable for certainly the more expensive option compared to the $300 drifter. This is about $5,000. So well worth it though if you're on the road a lot and you don't want to pay for lodging again and again and again, and you want to make sure that you stay close to where you're going to be fishing in the morning. That's the biggest thing for me, saving me time. Transport, you know, in transport, moving from where I stayed to where I'm going to fish and then back to where I'm staying that evening. It's just this right here is comfortable sleeping and more time fishing, more time on the water. That's so important to me. All right, I've gone ahead and put everything, you know, the windows back up closed, and man, that it gets stuffy in here in a hurry without those down. One thing that I'm going to tell you, and also that for sure translates to holding heat in when you do the winter camping thing. One thing that I'm going to show you that I did with concern to there being bugs getting in here. There is a Velcro thing, but there are gaps. One thing that I decided to do is from the outside, I sprayed permethrin right along this edge here as an insect repellent to keep the bugs out. You know, not something that you necessarily want to wear. It's okay to put on your clothes. You don't want it on your skin, but very good at making sure those mosquitoes don't find the pathway in. You can sit here and from the outside in kind of push in on all that Velcro, but you know, insects, they're going to find a way. So, all right, let me get out of this. It's getting hot. Before I finish, I will say that I'm pushing all my bedding to this front side because it corresponds to this area is a little bit higher, whereas back here it's designed to have a bag that sits on top on the outside. So a little bit higher roof there. This is where you should store your bedding. So tell me, when you're tent camping, how long does it take you to break down camp? We're gonna time me. The elbows are locked. I gotta crawl up in there, push those in. I gotta compress the sides. I actually have to take the ladder, put it in its little sleeve, throw that up in there, and then bring it all down. How long do you think it's gonna take? Let's go ahead and do the stopwatch here, see how long it takes. But ask, how long does it take you to set down or to tear down camp with a regular tent? Ready, set, go. Less than 3 minutes. It was 2 minutes and 50 seconds. You really can't beat that. So Boonedox prides itself in everything that we offer is actually manufactured in Thomasville, North Carolina. But in the case of the rooftop tent, we did make an exception. We don't make this. We're working with James Baroud. These are made in Portugal, and we import them, and we're just really getting together the right set of Boonedox made parts to make the installation of this easy, whether you want to put it on your kayak trailer or the roof of your SUV or one of our racks that you can configure yourself. So I got a few more things that are kind of critical to this whole Boonedox Battle Wagon being everything I need it to be, and for sure the T-bone, a standard in Boonedox equipment, is critical to that. But that being said, I don't always have the T-bone on here. Let's jump into when I swap this out and put our cool lock in to have a Yeti 65 quart cooler with wheels and rod holders, everything I need for keeping beverages cool, keeping a well-stocked cooler just for camping wherever I am ready, right here in an area that's pretty accessible. Let's take a look at that. First, I'm gonna take the T-bone off, but I don't just have the T-bone in there with the regular hitch pin. We offer a locking hitch pin, which is a really great way to make sure that your T-bone is always your T-bone. So there's a bunch of Yeti specific products here. The first, is the Yeti 65. It's pretty standard product here. What we've added are the quad rod. So these are rod holders, and they tuck right down into that. We already have straps here that connect to a frame. I'm going to take this here and shut it. You're going to see the frame of the wheels, so you can wheel your cooler, wherever you're going. You can easily wheel it, and it just connects to the little pegs in the bottom, locks in there, and then secures the rest of the way with these straps that tighten down there. Excuse me, anyone ask you? No, be quiet. Someday, some of those will be in that right there. So you get a strap to tug it along, carry it wherever you need to, not break your back. But this whole thing can transport on this. This goes into the hitch there. I found it necessary to add this extension so that I can drop the tailgate and it not come down on it. So we'll go ahead and put this in here, and I'll use the locking hitch pin to get that into place, and we'll place the cooler right here. With that extension, now that I'd want to drop the tailgate, it's not going to come down onto it. There it is. What we're going to do next is we're going to take these short Yeti straps and we're going to thread them down through there, and it's going to go down to frame. This goes down and around. It's just a regular tie-down strap. You do one of those on either side, and this isn't coming up off there. So this isn't going anywhere unless someone just comes up here, undoes this strap, and then they can steal this whole thing. How do we address that? The way that I've done it is with this Master Lock Python lock. A lot of the Yeti dealers will sell this, but I think you can also get them at different hardware stores. I'll give you a closer look at that. But basically, the key goes in there, and you have this cable that goes through that part right there. And I'm gonna get the key out and show you. Stick that key in there. That allows the cable to pass through there. The cable will pass up through there, and it can't come backwards. I like to leave it actually a little bit loose because there's a little hole right there that you're gonna run this through, and it'll go around the frame. And what that does is when you leave it loose, you can still open this and get at your stuff without the fear of somebody stealing the entire cooler. If you really want to secure it from the standpoint of you don't want anyone getting in at your cold beer, you can cinch it all the way down, and they won't be able to get at what is inside. So that's cinched all the way down. Now everything is fully secure. You're gonna have to tuck this tag end in. You can see from the road rash I have right there that I failed at that task at least once. So I'm just looping that around. And now I'm good to go, nice and secure. Man, those wheels make it easier. So that's where it is right now. I got a whole lot more to do with this vehicle. For sure, we got to get some gas and water packs on there, a shower, an awning. The next big Boonedox product that we need to go over. Two different options. Metal rod boxes to get your rods out of the front seat of the truck. Got to solve that problem. I've already run around with this vehicle in the Rod Pro. That one's coming soon, and then we're gonna actually have rod tubes, much like the legacy product, the Boonedox Mamba. We're gonna have a rod tube. It's gonna fit right in this space right here. So there's gonna be two different versions of metal rod boxes. The Rod Pro and then the Rod Tube. The Rod Tube is going to be the more budget-friendly version of it, and the more premium version is going to be the Rod Pro, which if you want to, you can look back at some of my other videos on the little stuff and you can see the Rod Pro in action. Thanks for watching. Keep watching this series on the Boonedox Battle Wagon. See it come to fruition and get more stuff put on it to make my camping and fishing adventures just better. Thanks for watching. See ya.